All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I was talking about the debate that Piers Morgan was having with a transgender woman, right? And this transgender woman was like so pretty. She looked like a real woman. Anyway, she was like so pretty. So she was like saying, yeah, this environment's very liberal. Everyone's liberal here. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta go up to the screen, darling, and check something. Yeah, so anyways, the environment is so liberal, the school's liberal, everything's liberal, right? Very liberal, everyone like does what they want. If they want to have an exchange, etc., they will do it, right? Anyway, 76 of the students were dealing with issues with gender. They felt that they were either not in the right body or wanting to question gender, or felt that gender was an important topic, or the majority of them were either gay, lesbian, bi, or trans, or non-binary, and or not in the right body, or whatever. And so it was like so crazy because you're like, holy, 76 students. You're like, I don't care how liberal an area you're in, I just can't imagine that 76 students are going to be questioning their gender or whatever, right? So you're just like, okay, whatever. So that's crazy, right? And so you're like, okay, well, maybe that's true, right? Because it's super popular. It's super trendy to do what I'm doing right now, being beautiful as a woman, or not even being beautiful, but being a woman when you're a guy. Whether you're doing it serious, I don't identify with it, but whether you do it seriously or not, or whether you do it because you identify with it or not, I'm serious about it because I'm very supportive of the trans community, but I'm not identifying as this. I just identify as a man. So whatever the reason you do, or whatever the reason you are that way, or whatever the reason you want to dress up for that reason, for whatever reason you do, right? And so I'm just like, okay, So I'm just like 76 students. Anyway, so this girl was like, Piers Morgan is being rude about this, these students want to change their gender, there's nothing wrong with that, all that, right? And you're just like, darling, darling, darling. But anyway, I mean, at the end of the day, and this is, Piers Morgan was just basically saying, this is confusing kids, right? Like, kids are being very confused by all this because they're like seeing all this talk about gender and all this, and maybe they weren't even thinking about it, right? So it's confusing to a young child for sure. But I think, to some extent, if you're a young child and you are really identifying as a man or as a woman, as a cisgender, or you really identify as a transgender person, you're not really going to, see that as threatening. I think if you learn more about it, you find that you end up really feeling more yourself than you do anything else, right? So if you are yourself a transgender person, you will more feel that way. If you are someone that's cisgender, you will more feel that way, and it's not a debate really. I mean, if those 76 students really feel that their gender is the wrong one, they do. But I think, at the end of all this, unless you seriously want to change your gender, you're not going to, right? So you have to really seriously want to change your gender, right? So anyway, totally enjoyed the show. I don't think it's a big deal to have these students learn these things because, at the end of the day, if you really want to change your gender, why not? Who are you hurting, darling? But if you don't, the people are going to know. You go through testing, and they're like, okay, this person's not serious, they just were confused a bit, whatever. But I think most kids are not confused. Most kids are smart these days, and they know what gender they want to be. They know what body they felt like they belong to. Anyway, totally enjoyed. Bye now.